YouTube, what is going on? Crowder here, and today we are reviewing Modern Warfare 3. As you guys know, there has been a lot of people that have been saying Call of Duty is back, and everyone loves the new Call of Duty, and we kind of do this every single year. I actually was not at Call of Duty Next or anything of that. I did not play the PS5 beta as well. I kind of waited very, very patiently until now to play this game and kind of get my hands on it and see how it goes. So I didn't really have an opinion fully until I can obviously play the game for myself. And as you can see, I'm a level 20. I've played it a good amount. I've watched it a good amount, and I have some things to say. Now, we'll start with some of the questionable stuff. I think the biggest question is some of this movement does feel a lot better. I do think the foundation of the game is really good. I don't know what's going on right now. This is a pretty cool intro thing. I didn't even know this was a thing. That was pretty dope. It's definitely a better foundation. You can slide like this. You can do your slide cancel. If you guys watched my previous video, I did a whole movement thing already to kind of get a head start. It feels a lot better. There's still a weird delay out of the slide cancel. I know they fixed that from the PS5 apparently, so I didn't get to experience that delay, but there's still a little bit of a delay where it feels a little clunky, but nothing too crazy. But the big thing that I like here is the gunplay too. But we're going to get into that in a second. I think one of the biggest questions I have right now, that's probably the most negative, I guess, about it, is how they're going to incorporate this to Warzone. So a big reason why your movement feels less clunky in Modern Warfare is because the perks, the gloves, the boots, and all this stuff that you can put on your character are actually the reason why you kind of feel a little bit less clunky. So that's not going to be in Warzone. As you guys know, you get your perks from your loadout and a bunch of things like that. So I'm very curious to see how they're gonna kind of incorporate that to Warzone, because that was like the biggest feedback I saw from a lot of the creators and players at COD Next about like how they're gonna make Warzone feel a little bit less clunky. So I'm a little nervous for that. But at the same time, I do think they're listening to feedback this year a lot more than previously. Normally, I would be a little bit more hesitant to kind of think they're going to do the right thing. But I feel like they've already kind of shown that they're trying to listen to the feedback and use the community as like a tool to make their game a little bit more fun. Now, last year they made a beta and they had good movement, fun, fast-paced movement. People actually liked the beta. And then they said, okay, I heard all your feedback. The game's great. Thanks for letting us know. Let's make the game absolute shit. It doesn't look like they're doing that this year. Slick just got smoked, and that's the same name as one of my editors, so you just got smoked if you're editing this. I don't know which one is.
What do you say fuck me for?
Yeah, so I think this is a little bit more optimistic feeling, just having people be able to give some feedback, see that they took the delay, see they fixed the battle rage. I know the battle rage was a problem in the first beta too in PS5 and all of that. So I'm definitely happy with how they're handling all of the situations right now with community feedback. I think that's a very, very important thing, if not the most important thing, even in Modern Warfare 2 with how bad that game was. If they just listened to anything the community said, I do think they could have kind of saved it a little bit. But now that we've talked about the negative stuff, which wasn't even that negative, I think the movement feels better. I know there was low standards, so I'm not too sure if it's just me being happy because the game feels like Call of Duty again. I don't feel like we played Call of Duty last year. I don't know what kind of game that was, but it just felt terrible. So I don't know if it's more of that or just the game does feel smooth. But the most underrated thing, and we're not putting that in, that Slicks just killed me. We're not doing that. Cut that out.
Shut your fucking mouth, you'll do nothing. You'll do fucking nothing.
But yeah, the fact that the gunplay of the game. So now, I think Modern Warfare 2 wasn't my favorite, and I'm not going to sit here and bash it anymore. But I think the biggest reason why I didn't like that game is because of the visual recoil, the smoke, your screen shake, and every time you shot your gun, your screen would go crazy. Like it would just, everything would just go nuts. But now when you play this game, when you shoot your gun again, it's not that the guns don't have recoil, because even the guns in Modern Warfare 2 don't have too much recoil. It's just, there's not as much visual recoil, and it just feels smoother. Like even in that situation, it just feels smoother to shoot your gun. And I think that's a huge thing that Call of Duty does right most of the time. So I think that was a really tough thing to try and add into the Call of Duty player base after all the years of it being so smooth. So the fact that the guns feel as smooth as they do right now is a big W. I think that's the biggest W for me. It makes me the happiest out of everything so far, including the movement. With that being said, the movement is better. I do think they can tweak it a lot. I'm not going to sit here and say Call of Duty's back. Oh my God, it's perfect. It's not perfect. I do think there's still a weird delay. And what I mean by that is when you slide, there's this like little delay like you saw right there where you can't like get your tack spring going again. It still feels a little clunky, and my thing is that they had no delay when players tested the game. Like I knew some people that went back and tested the game. They were talking about how it's like perfect. They said that there was no delay when they tested it the first time. I don't know why they added it in. I don't understand why they would do that. I think they're trying to experiment and use the feedback from the community in the beta, which is very good and normal. But I don't think they should add a delay. I think they should just keep it smoother. And it's not just because I'm a sweaty player and I'm a nerd. I feel like for anyone playing the game, even if you're not the best player, I feel like the smoother the game is and the easier in a sense it is, the better it is for everybody. I think no matter what, sweaty players are going to exploit and figure it out and know how to do those movements and stuff anyway. So I think it's just really good for the casual base to make sure the game is as smooth as possible. So when they're playing the game, they can have some fun too. We got to turn up for a second though, because right now I'm getting smoked. I'm doing too much talking, not enough gunning. All right, now I'm doing the gunning. 2 kills. Doesn't matter. I got shot in the back. Now we're back in action. So yeah, definitely some good positive changes so far. The movement, obviously the gunplay and all that. Now, the one thing I will talk about, and I don't know if this is just a beta thing or a spawns thing, but more on the CDL side, I feel like when we're playing spawns with 6v6 and you're trying to read what's like more logical stuff, it doesn't seem very logical right now. I do feel like the spawn system doesn't feel that great. That is definitely terrifying, but also very easily fixable. And again, they have been listening to feedback, so hopefully the CDL community and just in general the community of Call of Duty get some good feedback out to them. And I'm getting Guardianed, oh my god, that we can get some better spawns. I do think a lot of people have been voicing their opinion that spawns aren't good. That's not just a me thing. But again, not something to worry about too much. It is just a beta, so I'm not going to have a meltdown about it. But I do hope that they use the feedback to change them up a little bit. I do think they're not as logical as they could be. But I'm still having a blast just in general, enjoying the game. I do think the old maps are kind of an L. I'm not going to lie. I'm just going to sneak that in there so you guys don't roast me too much. But I do think the old maps aren't my favorite. I do like some of them, but I do think getting new maps is actually a little bit better. I wasn't a huge fan of the MW2 maps, so I wish we got a little bit more maps. But again, they're going to come out with a bunch of DLC stuff. Not too worried. Lastly is obviously the time to kill. I think it's perfect, and there's nothing else to be said. I think the 150 time to kill is a perfect balance of being able to get kills, but also get shredded at the same time. It adds for a little bit more skill gap, but not something that's overly insane where you just obviously can't compete.
I can't fucking compete!
And that's it. 75 team deathmatch victory. Not the best game, but again, just trying to give you guys my raw input of what I feel about this game. And I'm not going to sit here and say Call of Duty's back yet. I do think I have to play the game for a long time. I think I answered someone in my chat earlier. The only way I'm going to say that is if I play this game for a couple months and I still really feel passionate and like in love with the game. I have had that feeling with a couple Call of Duties, not recently in the past years. Other than that, I do think COD has a good foundation. It has the possibility of being back. I think we're in for a much better year. Standards were low, but I still think we're going to have some fun. I recommend you guys trying out the beta if you guys haven't yet. I do approve of it. I do think it's a very fun game. I'm excited for the game to come out and kind of grow with it. Hopefully they keep doing the feedback thing. I think that's the most important thing. And yeah, I was using the ACR that game. This is probably the best assault rifle, and the best submachine gun is probably the Striker, which is right there. Those are the 2 guns I've been using. Those are the guns that everyone's using. Give it a try. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, it's been your boy Crowder. Peace.